Well, hello, all you motherfuckers. This is the last time I'm ever doing a Raw review. And you'll know why as I go along through this review. Because I have to say one thing, start this off. On record, I'm going to say this. This was the fucking shittiest freaking Raw I have ever seen. Fucking thing mattered. Not a damn thing. This show was... It started off with an insult to my intelligence, and the show ended insulting my intelligence. I'm tired of being a fucking idiot fool here watching this current product. About the only thing positive I can say about the current product is some of the pay-per-views are actually pretty decent, and those I'll continue to watch. But I'm not going to spend week after week, 3 hours of this shit watching this garbage anymore. This was just fucking horrendous. We start off with the show with Jericho talking to a fucking plant. Busted over Dean Ambrose's head last week. Like, who the fuck cares? And secondly, it's got a name called Mitch. How sad and pathetic this really is. Matt, the guy, one of my friends on Random Wrestling Talk, he texts me and he says that Mitch is going to be in the Hall of Fame in 2017. And I know he was joking around, being sarcastic, and probably downright seriously saying that he thinks this was a fucking joke, in which case he has every right to say that, because that's what it was. It was a fucking joke. Horrendous. You're starting to show off on the highlight reel. You're supposed to have Dean Ambrose come out, but he supposedly knocked him unconscious and put him out of action for tonight. So he talks to a dead fucking plant instead, which could have been a fake plant regardless. So who the fuck cares? And he's saying this, that, and other, rambling on and on and on and on about fucking bullshit that means nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Big Cass comes out, he tells him, look, you know what, you can talk all the mumbo. It was about the only thing that was sane to this segment. The rest of it was just complete and utter insanity, insult to my intelligence, and if anybody in their right mind thinks that this was entertaining or was valuable for building up to Extreme Rules, you are out of your fucking mind. You belong in a freaking, in a straitjacket in a mental institution. This show displays what our society really is. They'll actually buy into this crap, and throughout the entire show, people are actually cheering this garbage on. This is going to be the longest review I probably have ever done by myself alone. Because I got so much to say and so much anger to get off my fucking chest. Because this was just disgusting. I can't believe how Vince McMahon could sit in a creative team office, come up with all these ideas, and this is what they come up with. Are you really that fucking dumb, Vince? Do you think we're that fucking retarded? And probably you're right, they are, because I'm hearing the audience fucking cheering this shit on, giving wrestling, real true wrestling fans a bad name everywhere. Wrestling fans are walking away from this shit, and tonight I'm announcing my retirement from the current WWE product crap that's being played on our television sets for 3 hours every single Monday night. This is a travesty. There has got to be some sort of, savior out of this insanity, and there really isn't. This is just a utter, complete garbage, and then Vince McMahon goes, why are we making more money, probably, or some kind of shit, being upset, making everyone worry about their jobs, and yet he's the one that has the final say in all this crap that these morons come up with. They got Road Dog. I listened to the Brad Rules. I'm subscribed to his channel. If you guys never heard of his channel before, check it out. He has very good insight on wrestling, as well as JD from New York. 206, and he said something. He actually tweeted to Road Dog about the ratings, the whole storylines going on in the company, everything. And instead of Road Dogg being a professional, or at least, yeah, I could understand he's going to have to be the spokesman, talk positive about the company, because that's who he works for, and he can't, just jeopardize his job. But that he would take some of the words that came out of Brad's mouth on the tweets that he said and take them into consideration. Instead of that, he just acted like an immature jackass and took some of those comments that he said and took them to offense as an insult and said, "I'm blocking you." Are you fucking serious? Road Dogg, you are a fucking pansy poser of a douchebag and a corporate sellout, just like Vincent Mann has become, just like Triple H. I can't say Triple H, but he dresses the part of a corporate guy, and all these other douchebag henchmen that go, yes sir, and suck Vincent Mann's cock. Okay? That's what you are, Road Dogg. You suck. I don't like your personality. I think that, the most pathetic thing about all of this is that you got Road Dogg talking. I've heard some of his tweets on NoDQ.com. It's that, wins and losses don't matter. They don't? Then why have a referee? Why have a ring? And why have a fucking match whatsoever? Just have them do whatever, do total divas for all we give a fuck. They could be a bunch of transgender douchebags. Who the fuck cares? This is fucking bullshit. This is professional wrestling. Deal with it. Or don't have a wrestling company, you jackasses. That's my first rant. This is going to go on for quite a while, so if you're not interested in watching the whole fucking thing, I don't recommend watching it. If you're enjoying the rant so far, keep on watching, because it's going to keep getting better. Alright, so here we go. To get actually into this fucking piece of shit, as I already mentioned, Jericho talks to a fucking dead plant named Mitch. Who the fuck would name the damn plant Mitch? Fucking retards. Alright, Baron Corbin goes one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. He wins his match against Dolph Ziggler with hitting the end of days. Match wasn't too bad, but who the fuck needed to see this match for the third freaking time? I mean, this match should have been over with by Payback. Seriously. They should have had Baron Corbin pick up the victory on the pre-show and be done with it. So, I mean, that's pretty much all it should have meant. Flair backstage, meeting up with Shane, and says that not only is Flair still banned from the ringside at Extreme Rules, yeah, that pretty much was trying to get Shane McMahon to budge a little bit, see if maybe he'll actually go ahead and the ruling on that removed and all that shit with Ric Flair being out of it. So instead of doing that, the ban still would stand for Ric Flair to stay away from ringside at Extreme Rules, as well as he was banned for tonight. We also had, before that, all that stuff I did forget to... Jericho finds Stephanie McMahon backstage and complains about Cass, then tries to put her at odds with Shane. Appreciate any of this, so she puts him in a match against Big Cass in the main event of... Let me ask you guys one question. Better to make AJ Styles and Roman Reigns storyline the main event, since it is about the World Heavyweight Championship? I mean, that's number one. Number two, I'm going to give you guys a spoiler before I even get into... Save it for last because, you know, it's great to watch WWE programming nowadays. It's all good, and it's good for your intelligence. It makes you real bright inside. It makes you feel real smart. I feel like my freaking intelligence was insulted and buried and then brought back to life and killed again. This is fucking pathetic. Alright, so after that, we had JoJo interviewing Styles, Gallows, and Anderson backstage. They asked them about the six-man elimination tag team match later that night. Styles saying he won't hesitate to take Reigns out after what happened last week. As the club is officially together again, and they way too sweet with the Wolfpack sign. Okay, that's cool. I mean, Styles is a heel at this point. I don't give a shit about merchandise selling. They're never going to change Reigns as a heel, so who gives a shit? At this point, I really don't. I would just want to see Reigns get his brains kicked in every fucking night at this point. Him being a heel face, I don't give a shit. I don't like him. I never will. We wasted our time with R-Truth defeating Fandango. Now, it takes your time to show with R-Truth and Fandango. You gotta be fucking kidding me with this crap. Got to. I mean, who in their right mind wants to sit through this crap? These two could have been facing each other on SmackDown at least. At least it's not so bad. It's a 2-hour show, number one. Number two, there's not so many storylines being built. This is a show that needs to have more focus on pay-per-view storyline build-ups. You take this match and you throw it on SmackDown, it's not that much of a big deal. You're not really hurting the show any. You can make it as like an opener on SmackDown or something like that. And no harm, no foul would have been done here. Instead, they put this on a 3-hour show that's supposed to be the top-notch flagship show out of all of them, and they're taking their time and money and throwing it on this crap. That means absolutely nothing, is not leading to any, not leading anywhere. It's not going nowhere. It's just fucking garbage. Who cares? Then we go backstage. We have Sami Zayn offers a proposition to Shane and Stephanie. And he wants to be added to the match for the Intercontinental for the title against with Miz and Cesaro in there and Kevin Owens. It's pretty much like, hey, add me in, man. Shane and Stephanie say, well, you're going to have to earn it, and you're going to have to beat the Miz. He's the champion. If you can beat the champion in a one-on-one match, then can be added to the Intercontinental Championship match. That made logical. That was about the only thing on this show that made any fucking sense. Really. I mean, everything else was pointless. It was garbage. It was nothing. There was nothing meaningful about this show. All I kept doing was looking at the time and praying for the show to fucking end already so I can be done with it, do this review, and be done with the WWE current product on television. I mean, I am seriously fucking sick of this. And I got something to say after I'm done with this whole entire review, that I'm going to just pretty much put an end to all this madness. So, Sami Zayn gets a one-on-one match and a non-title match against The Miz, and that's pretty much where we're left off here. Paige goes one-on-one with Charlotte. Now, Charlotte, as you already know, based on what I've already said and read here, about has been banned from ringside. Well, apparently that didn't exactly happen, because Ric Flair came back out from ringside, still managed to get out there, and instead of the match being automatically thrown out, yeah, that's right, it should have been thrown out, automatically Paige wins with no pinfall or anything like that. It should have been an automatic disqualification on Charlotte, and Paige should have been the winner. Instead, Ric Flair comes out, accidentally distracts his daughter, screws her up, and Paige gets the roll-up pin and the 1-2-3 against Charlotte. And that's how Paige wins her match against Charlotte. And, I mean, like, come on, man. And Ric Flair came out, and he was pretty much trying to even the odds, I guess you could say, because of Natalya sitting there watching the match. And he was worried that she would lose. Would somebody please explain to me what the fuck the point is for Charlotte? Charlotte in any way, shape, or form to be a legit women's champion. All it does is make her look weak, pathetic, and ridiculous. I mean, eventually you gotta make her look good. I mean, come on. Triple H eventually had an opportunity to look good. Jeff Jarrett, of all people, had an opportunity to look good in some sort of match without needing help or getting an advantage over an opponent. At least a couple of times as a heel. But this wasn't the case. This is pathetic bullshit. Where a champion still keeps a title and makes the title look less valuable than it really should be. And that's why WWE's programming sucks. That's why WWE's titles mean nothing. That's why WWE's storylines mean nothing. That's why WWE just pretty much overall just means nothing. They have no purpose. They have no meaning. They shouldn't even fucking exist. Sami Zayn, he goes up against The Miz up next after that match. Sami Zayn wins this. This wasn't a bad match. Of course, it did have Sami Zayn in it, so the match was going to be good regardless. Glad The Miz lost. Can't stomach the son of a bitch. Hate him as much, or if not more, than Roman Reigns. After that, we had Becky Lynch backstage. She was getting an interview by Renee Young. When Emma interrupts. Emma warned Becky that she had better grow eyes in the back of her head. Lynch is then attacked by the debuting of Dana Brooke. I would assume that these two were together in NXT, obviously. And they were all ready to haul off and punch her in the face. Instead, they said, let's wait till later. Why? Why wait till later? Why didn't they just knock her the fuck out? What the hell kind of bullshit is that? We'll wait later. At another time. You fucking retard. When you got somebody down and out, you keep beating the fuck out of them until they can't get up. Fucking dumbass shit. Next, a segment with Darren Young with Bob Backlund. And I saw this last week on Raw. I didn't watch the entire Raw because I was out and about doing something else and living life behind a TV set, boring myself for 3 fucking lousy hours. And they're doing Darren Young, trying to make Darren Young great again, with Bob Backlund being his life coach. Now, the funny thing is, he says, wrestling is life. I didn't think they were supposed to say wrestling on WWE programming anymore. Not to mention, wrestling doesn't seem to make a fucking difference in this company, because wins and losses don't even mean a thing. It's about wrestling. God almighty, this company is real crap. I just wish that someday somebody with brains in their head will actually turn the wrestling industry around to what it used to be, instead of this load of garbage WWE Vince McMahon crap. Alright, so we get Zack Ryder backstage talking to Shane McMahon when they are interrupted by Kevin Owens, which then Shane doesn't appreciate. Shane says if Ryder beats Owen tonight, Zack will actually take Kevin Owens' place in the Fatal 4-Way at Extreme Rules for the IC Championship. Did you just hear what I read? Zack Ryder climbed up the ladder, grabbed the belt, and then the next night they decide to have him drop the title to the fucking Miz. I just find that astonishing. They want to put Kevin Owens' his place, IC championship on the line. One, he was the champion going in to the IC championship match at the WrestleMania 32. He got knocked unconscious because of Sami Zayn, so he had no way of defending his championship at that point. He was actually injured. Really technically lose the belt. 2, he wasn't pinned or submitted, so I don't mean of Crockett. And that's what we get. Told that Kevin Owens could lose a spot. He beats Sami Zayn. That should already seal him in for an opportunity for the title. Just don't get this crap. But I don't know, man. This to me is retarded. Just one moment. Let me close my door real quick because my roommate's about to go to sleep. Alright, so I'm back. I do apologize about that. But really, to be quite honest with you guys, I don't really care if this turns out to be a great video. If you guys view it 100 million times, or I hope you guys maybe enjoy my rant and agree with some of the things I'm saying, because quite frankly, really, I can't stomach what the fuck these people think. So, how does Zack Ryder get in this picture whatsoever? The only match that made any sense to have a match to qualify somebody for the IC Championship was Sami Zayn, because he lost to Kevin Owens. Fair and square. He didn't get screwed out of the match. So that made a lot of sense. But this Zack Ryder thing made no sense. And of course, I'm not going to go into it. In your head and you actually can think, which I would hope you do, but based on the crowd that they were at, wherever the fuck they were, not that it really freaking matters, was a bunch of fucking idiots. I mean, buying into this crap that Zack Ryder could have a chance of winning this match? You need to add it in the first place. It's pointless. Fucking dumb and idiotic. And Kevin Owens wins the match, so I'm not even getting into that. Phillips interviews Roman Reigns backstage as he hangs with the Usos. Reigns says they'll represent their bloodline to the fullest and they'll win over the club. Yeah, there was also one other thing. This was just a short, sweet little bullet point for the show, but I'm going to add more into this. Roman Reigns says that us Bloods, Usos, and us, we take care of each other. Anyone's attack, we watch each other's backs. I don't know. When this thing first started, I didn't see you, Roman Reigns, getting your fucking sorry ass out there to protect your freaking cousins. Reigns whipped in by the freaking Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. So, it makes all perfect sense. And of course, the Usos really appreciate Roman Reigns while they got their brains kicked in first by those two guys. But now they're close friends and they watch each other's back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And pigs can fly. Because none of that made any fucking sense to begin with. Sin Cara faced Rusev. This is another freaking joke. Why the fuck is Rusev going ahead, being looked like they're trying to rebuild Rusev into what he was when they first brought him in. You just left him the way he was. He was fine. All you needed to get him to do was get back into the U.S. title picture or go after another title, one of the two. It didn't really matter. But just kept him with Lana and leave it as it was. There was no need to separate the two. There was no need to put him in a worthless, pointless, stupid fucking storyline with Dolph Ziggler. Now, if you wanted to make Dolph Ziggler and Rusev just being in a rivalry storyline for competition over a championship, that's one thing. You want to put them in a love story type of thing, that's a little different. And that's what screwed everything up for Rusev. It also hurt Dolph Ziggler as well. Pathetic. Jumping around through hula hoops and then finally admitting that him and Rusev in real life are actually a couple, and pretty much, I mean, people, if you've actually researched about these two, you would know that, but if you didn't, was totally new to you, and it pretty much screws up all storylines altogether, screwing up everything they were working on. Not that it was all that big of a deal to begin with. So they bring them back together. Which, again, makes no fucking sense. Why couldn't they just kept it where the reality belonged? In real life, and not bring it into WWE television? Sense to me. I don't know about you, but it makes sense to me. Anywho, this was pathetic. Zack Ryder, or not Zack Ryder, Sin Cara defeats Rusev. Rusev goes on to win a fucking battle royal, and then he can't beat Sin Cara. This guy looked good. He's going against the United States champion, Kalisto, who's a small guy, almost the same height as Rey Mysterio, but a little bit taller than Rey, and you're making Rusev look like a puss. Ahead by Kalisto, Sin Cara gets a roll-up pin and gets the victory. That's how you end this match? You know, after all the things I just said that were actually facts about Rusev, you want to try to make it look like you're trying to rebuild him, and then you're having him lose to Sin Cara, who's not even a freaking champion, for God's sakes? Are you that fucking dumb? Of course you are. You wouldn't have done that. Give me a fucking break. This is just... every fucking thing they did tonight was just pathetic. I do not understand any of this. We have Epico and Primo, a segment about their return to WWE, talking about how Puerto Rico is a great place and blah, blah, blah. Mofo, you're going to America to perform in front of a live audience who's now, in my opinion, all a bunch of fucking dumb idiots. Yeah, I said it, okay? Me, as a kid, when I watched professional wrestling, I wanted to see realism. I wanted to see real life type of format going on my television. I wanted something authentic, real to life, even though I know it wasn't real. That's what I wanted. I hated WWE back in the day in the 1990s, during the mid-1990s. I started liking them by 98, 99. They were very good. They were starting to get better. They were starting to, you know, come around and act the way they were. And that was pretty much the beginning of the Attitude Era with D-Generation X. And then so forth after that, with Steve Austin and all that. But before that, 95, 96, hell, even 93, 94, all of it. I didn't care for that shit. I liked WCW. And I liked WCW at the time because it was about professional wrestling. It was about storylines being developed. There was some entertaining stuff that occurred on the show. But as I've mentioned in some of these WCW episodes from my retro reviews, they were too focused on one thing, and that's what WWE does now. They focus way too much on one fucking thing, and that's Roman Reigns. They don't even focus on the championship belt. They just focus on Roman douchebag Reigns. Which brings me to the next match. 6-man elimination match. Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and AJ Styles against the Usos and Roman Reigns. Carl Anderson eliminates Jey Uso. Following that, Luke Gallows. Let me see here. Then from there, I think Carl Anderson got eliminated. Then after that, Luke Gallows, eliminates one of the other Usos. And then it's a 2-on-1 deal between Luke Gallows and AJ Styles against Roman Reigns. And once again, they can't give AJ Styles the benefit, I guess you could say, benefit him. Give him some benefit. Give him an advantage going into this show to Extreme Rules. No, they couldn't do that. They couldn't do that at all. They had to take... First they had, Luke Gallows get eliminated by a Superman punch. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I understand that. You want to even the odds a little bit. Make things a little bit interesting. But you can't give AJ Styles the look that he deserves, and that's to have a win over Roman Reigns, at least clean. No, that didn't happen. Instead, we have Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows come out of nowhere, hit him with a fucking chair. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I kind of like the fact that they beat his ass. But he still, at the end of the day, at this whole deal, looked good. Well, AJ Styles looked weak. Roman Reigns was giving AJ Styles a chair while he was on the apron to do the forearm, the phenomenal forearm, and instead of doing that, AJ Styles kicks him the chair and says, "You need it more than I do." And then he tries to go ahead, do the forearm while he's kneeling down to pick up the steel chair, and misses. Roman Reigns flies out of the ring, stands there like a pussy instead of just going back in there to kick his ass. And they just have a stare down and talk shit, and AJ Styles says, "You need the chair more than I do." Oh, God. Really. Would someone please help me from this madness? Thank God this fucking show ended at 11 o'clock the way it should, because this was fucking horrible. Really, this was just absolute garbage. Of course, I already told you guys, Zack Ryder went one-on-one with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens gets the win and picks up the victory. Enzo, they talked to Renee Young, joined backstage by Big Cass. Cass says tonight will be the biggest match of his career, and he's dedicating it to Enzo. He asked Renee how she's doing. Just like the rest of us, she's smitten. Whatever the writer of this bullet was meaning, I don't know. The promo he did was very good, well delivered. I enjoyed that segment with him. Very decent, well done job. Definitely see this guy as well as Enzo becoming something in their career, and I definitely enjoy their work. Love their their verbal promos that they do, and everything else in between. Very well put together type of group. I see them going very far in the company as tag team partners and as individuals as well. It should be interesting. They're going to have to evolve eventually to be good individual wrestlers, but for the time being, what they are, they'll be great tag team wrestlers together. So I see a very bright future for them in the tag team division, but eventually, if they want to be single competitors, they're going to need to evolve them. And knowing WWE, by them doing that, they'll just fuck them up, and they'll mean nothing, like they always do. Alright, so New Day arrives, they do their deal, very funny stuff by New Day, but it's pretty much the same old stuff. So, I mean, it was a little entertaining to watch, and it was fun and enjoyable, so I didn't have any problem with it. And they faced the New Day faced the Dudley Boys for the 5 millionth time. Dudley Boys have never really beaten the New Day for the championships, and it's pretty sad to see the Dudley Boys throughout their career, well, not throughout their career, but throughout their time here in WWE, since they came in 2015 in the summer of 2015, they have done nothing. They haven't gotten one fucking title win. I think they deserve that. They couldn't get even a win over the Usos at WrestleMania 32. They couldn't get nothing. They have been nothing but jobbers. They've been sucking balls, and they still continue to suck balls, especially in this match. The Vaudevillains interrupted the match, screwed over the New Day, distracted them, and Devon got the victory with a clothesline from hell, ripping off JBL. It wasn't a bad clothesline from hell, very well done, but regardless of all that, picking up the victory through, interference of the Vaudevillains, and them with their status currently right now in WWE, it's just fucking pathetic. Really, I mean, this is sad for the Dudley Boys to come back and look like garbage when TNA did a better job in their time in TNA was better than what they're doing now in WWE. Now, their first go around with WWE was great. That was their highest point in their career, and they were doing great. TNA didn't do a bad job at all with them, despite the fact they were getting older. I mean, they made fucking Bubba Ray Dudley look like a badass individual. At least they got him over and made him look like a badass heel champion, and probably was about the only thing meaningful on TNA as a world champion. But WWE can't reproduce that same exact kind of excitement with Bubba Ray, because they're fucking crap. And I'm not saying TNA is better than WWE, because they fucking sure as hell not, because I mean, look at their roster. They're losing people left and right. They're firing people because they ain't got money available to give to these people when they need to re-sign them. They got people that are not getting paid on time either because the company's so damn broke. I mean, these guys are practically wrestling like ECW, fucking practically for free almost. They got nobody valuable. I mean, they got Drew Gallows, formerly known as Drew McIntyre, and you got fucking Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, which are two old has-beens that if they came back to WWE probably would get the same treatment the Dudley Boys are getting right now. This is pathetic, and it's very sad. And I think it's a waste of the Dudley Boys' time. They should have never came back to WWE if they're going to be used like this. And I feel bad for them, per se, because at least give them one fucking title reign. You gave the New Age Outlaws title win, and at least carry the belts for like a month and a half. You couldn't give that to the fucking Dudley Boys the same respect and give them a 10-time WWE World Tag Team title reign? I mean, are you fucking serious? That is like the biggest insult you could possibly do to anybody. Garbage, man. Absolute, complete, utter garbage. Then we get main event time. It's supposed to be Big Cass's. It should have been Big Cass's big break in this against Jericho. He could have had a really decent match. It was 10:50 at night when they were about to start the match. And instead of doing that, the match never starts. We get Big Cass doing his entrance, standing in the middle of the ring, getting prepared to wait for Chris Jericho to show up in that ring and us to get to see these two guys collide. At least a decent match for the fucking main event. We don't get a main event. We get Dean Ambrose stealing fucking Jericho's light up jacket, beating him up and taking it off, and then acting like he's Chris Jericho, walks all the way to the ring with the lights on the jacket, the lights in the arena are out, lights turn back on. He's standing there with the jacket, Dean Ambrose. Rips it up into a million pieces. Jericho's screaming and howling like a little fucking Kansas City faggot. And saying, it's a $15,000 jacket. Well, who the fuck would wear a $15,000 jacket to begin with? Number two, you fuckers said he was out at action for tonight. You had Jericho come on to TV and say that. Now, why would you have him say that if that was not true? I don't know why. I don't really fucking care. None of this makes any sense. They took a good opportunity to help promote a young, talented guy like Big Cass, see what he can do with a big-name guy like Chris Jericho over. They fucked Jericho over, and they fucked Dean Ambrose over. All three of them, they could have had Dean Ambrose interfering in this match. We still get an opportunity to see a match between these two guys, which never happened. This match should not have been the main event, but it was. So at least give us a fucking match. Instead, you give us nothing. No contest, no nothing. We're hearing about Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon are starting to become good old close brothers and sisters. And they're getting along fine, and they really like each other. And then you have Stephanie McMahon picking up the fucking picture of and Shane. Weird expression that you can't even interpret whether she was happy that she's getting along with her brother, or she's jealous of her brother in that picture, or anything. I mean, you couldn't get a fucking thing out of this. And we get back to the audience, and we, inside the ring and in the arena, we're seeing Jericho screaming like a maniac. Dean Ambrose going, like, man, are you fucking serious? Are you that pathetic you can't even put on a decent creative show? You gotta be that low and pathetic. Alright, with all that being said, now that I got through to all this, now I'm going to get to the final rant and the final showdown to this entire fucking review once and for all. This will be the final review I ever do on Monday Night Raw for quite a while until I see or till I hear some improvements to some of the big name guys on YouTube.com. From New York to a 6, Joe Cronin, the Brad Rules, and some of those guys that I listen to that I really value their commentary about professional wrestling and so forth. So, pretty much showed that society, it's crazy for me to say this, but it really tells me what society really is. It's filled with a bunch of dumb fucking retards. I really thought this show was good. Unless you're a kid. I can understand kids. I mean, kids are kids. They don't know any better. But adults, if any of you adults out there that are true wrestling fans thought this show was good, you don't know fucking wrestling worth a shit. You would know if it was up your ass or right in front of you. That's the bottom line. This show just displayed that society is full of a bunch of retards that'll drink the WWE Kool-Aid or anything that's told to them, like you see on television, being told what to do, go buy this, go do that, being mind-fucked by the man, and that's what this show is. Vince McMahon is supposed to be the man. He's the higher-up hierarchy in professional wrestling, and he gets everyone to go behind this, the one, that one, and blah, blah, blah. And yet people are dumb enough to go to those fucking shows, waste their hard-earned money, and sit there and be bored out of their fucking minds for 3 hours. Me, I would rather just sit at home, watch this shit, and now that I've gotten so fucking tired of it, I don't even care to watch this show at all. Period. WWE has lost a fan completely. The only thing I will watch is things on the WWE Network, such as the pay-per-views and all the old school wrestling stuff that was once at one time the best professional wrestling shows you can possibly watch in the world. You had ECW, they could put on hardcore, mature audience type of content. You had WWE you had great programming from 1997 all the way up to fucking 2006. Dude, man, that was freaking straight up. You could get 2 hours of great entertainment and never get bored of it. They could put two fucking average Joe douchebags and still put a good show on. I didn't care what the hell they did because the show was great. You had good SmackDown shows, you had good Raw shows that both had an equal value of importance. Now, SmackDown's like fucking WWE superstars for a 2-hour show, and Raw is like a fucking piece of garbage that means nothing for 3 hours. This is not entertainment. This is not enjoyable. This is not fun to watch. This is completely and utterly like me going ahead, tying myself up to a torture rack, and having my body stretched like a fucking piñata. Actually, not a piñata, but like I was fucking Armstrong, that toy you guys know anything about. Back in the day, in the early 90s, they had a toy that would stretch out and, whatever. But you get what I mean. I'm not going to torture myself anymore. I don't recommend any of you torture yourself anymore. If you got the WWE Network, I wouldn't recommend deleting it, to it, but I would use it to my advantage to fuck WWE over in ratings. You want to watch Monday Night Raw? Watch it from 1997. Watch it from 98, 99. They have every freaking episode up. Now they have from 97 all the episodes all the way up to 2003. All those episodes that you can watch on Monday Night Raw. And you don't only have to sit through an hour and 30 minutes because they don't have to show you the damn commercials, thank God. Then you have SmackDown. They got you every freaking episode going all the way up from the beginning of the show from 1999 all the way up to 2003 episodes. Like half of 2004. You have good episodes that you can take every single week, watch them one at a time, and enjoy yourself instead of being bored out of your freaking mind watching the garbage that's given to us on the WWE's current content. If you got a brain, watch it. You're not going to remember every freaking episode, every single match, and everything that occurred on these shows. So it's like pretty much watching it all over again. Brand new. Okay, so that's all I really have to say on this subject. And quite frankly, this show just displayed to me how retarded society really is. Anyway, guys, if you like this show, this episode of Monday Night Raw, which is the last fucking episode I'm ever going to do, hit that thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that, guys. From now on, retro reviews only. Not doing any current WWE content except for pay-per-views once a month. Otherwise, I ain't watching this shit. I'm out of this crappy WWE content review garbage for quite a while until I know that this show has gotten better, in which case more than likely won't, so I won't be missing much of anything. If you hit that subscribe button. If you want to watch real reviews about good content wrestling, that's what I'm all about now at this point. And we have random wrestling talk, and pretty soon football season start. I'm going to start doing reviews with another guest of mine who I look forward to having her on here. She loves professional football, and I look forward to doing that with her as well. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show for Monday Night Raw's review, letting it be the last fucking time I ever do this shit. Thank you very much, and have a great night, guys. Bye.